Hi, thank you so much for hosting a job shadow, internship, or apprenticeship for Providence Christian Montessori. We love when our students can have time to be with people in the community and get to learn what the workforce looks like. What are the real skills needed to be successful on a job, to find out if a career is something that they want to explore, or maybe something that they just want to have connections to, just to see how things function in our world. Sometimes it's just great to see what all the pieces look like. So I just want to say a few words about why that's so important to us, because I don't know about you, but many times people I've talked to, their most meaningful educational experience was an internship, where they really were able to see if this is the direction they want to go in. And even if it wasn't, it was a great memory of something that they understood more of how it functions. It's really important for our kids to start to learn how to do the soft skills and the professional skills in the workforce. We hear all the time that that's something that employers really want to see. As an employer, it really gives you an opportunity to see the talent funnel. You can see how different students function. We've had many students actually be offered positions after they finish their internship because they have appreciated those soft skills and just their ability to do things. And it's just a great experience for you also to kind of be thinking about, well, what does it mean to work with this next generation of people coming up and joining our workforce. The last thing it really helps with is networking. Networking is so important, and we tell our students all the time that most of the jobs you're going to get are going to be because of people that you know, because people recommended you for something, or they had an opportunity to work with you and they really saw something in you that would really work for maybe even somebody else. And it's who you know and how you present yourself that people want to tell others about you. And then also they get to network with you, and you expand your network, because they're not going to stay students forever. They will get older and they will have jobs hopefully in our own community, and they'll know people that, like you, that they can connect to others as well. So it's a networking opportunity that works full circle. So that's a little bit of why it's so important to us. You might be thinking, okay, so what does it happen and what does it look like for me to actually have someone here where I work, and what would you like me to do with them? That is actually a very valid question, because we're not used to having interns necessarily. Not all companies are used to that. And a lot of our students actually go to places that are entrepreneurs, and it may be just a few of them. So it's not this huge system that they have already established for internships. So we want to give you some tips and pointers and invite you to think about ways that you can have your student come as an intern. First of all is environment. It's great to set the tone of what kind of environment you work in. If you do work with other people, maybe having a scavenger hunt of where they have to go and meet the different people in your company and the positions they have, and ask them specific questions about what they do, so they can get the full picture, the whole picture of what that organization does. Maybe it's a scavenger hunt of the tools or the software you use, where they have to hunt and pack and look on the internet to learn about the different tools that you have to use all the time, because they want to get skilled in some of those tools, especially if they're used in the job market. And also how you organize your day. Like, what's the environment look like for you, and how you plan out your day? You know, do you sit down and make your priority list? Do you have a to-do list made from somebody else, and how does that happen? It's really good for them to see some of those overarching concepts, so that they can learn and use those in other internships as well. So delegation is another really wonderful thing that you can do with your interns. So if you sit down with a list of things that you can delegate off your plate, that's super helpful. We invite you to look down and say, okay, these are the simple things that gotta get done at the office or wherever I'm at. Simple as filing or cleaning, or simple things that most people can do, to more advanced skill set. And we ask you to think about a broad range because we always encourage our students to think about work in terms of comfort level, challenge level, and frustration level. So we don't want to stay in our comfort level all the time, but we're going to do things in our comfort level, and that's great. We're going to have things that are challenging to us, just at that challenge level where we really want to push ourselves, or the resources are within our grasp. We just have to work a little harder at it. That's a good challenge level. And then there's frustration level where you're like, I literally have no idea how to do this. And that's okay. I don't have to necessarily be able to do this right now, but at least I know that is a goal at some point, or that is an objective at some point that I can look into. So looking at your delegated list and just getting things off of your plate, we want this to be a blessing to you, not just to them, for them to be there. Another thing that is really helpful are things like projects. Like I have a flyer that I need to get done, or you might be a coder and you have your own coding to do, and it's going to be really boring watching someone code. And so maybe give them, if they have some basic coding experience, give them a project, and then at the end of that project, sit down with them and chat with them about how they did and what things might need to be tweaked, or what's the next challenge after this. I know that when I had an intern, I had them look at one of my emails. It was one of those emails that has like 10 things that the person wants me to do in this email. And so I said, okay, what would you do if you had this email? Where would you go first? What would you do next? Like, what kind of research would you have to have before you could respond to this person? Sometimes it's calling through a new website that has a ton of resources, and you want to say, okay, if you were this person, what kinds of things would you find interesting here? And so really encouraging them to kind of look at some of the bigger things that you have to get done, and taking those on, and then sitting with them and kind of talking through what your work process is and how you handle it. So those are just a few ideas and a few thoughts on how you can help your student. Maybe making some mini lessons on different topics that are interest. Find a good YouTube video that's about maybe something that's really pertinent to your profession, maybe a hot topic right now, or even historical framework. I know some of our students go to a barber, and he always talks to them and has them watch a video on what barbers did back in the day. They were basically the surgeons of the community. And so there's just a lot that you can do, and we want you to embrace it, have fun with it, let it be something that is encouraging to you and not just the student. And then give them lots of feedback. Students love feedback, and they're used to constructive criticism. We do a lot of feedback in our classrooms, and we really challenge each other to be our best versions of ourselves and point things out that we might need to work on. And we're also trying to be super specific in our praise. So if somebody does a good job, we don't just say good job. We usually say, hey, I really like how you did this because it let me know that you were thinking critically about this. And so we invite you and just encourage you to use some of those same techniques with our students, and then all of your own. I'm sure you're going to bring tons of ideas and flair to the project, and do share with us the things that you felt particularly good about in your internship or job shadow with our students, and how we can always improve, and what are things that we can do to improve to make your job easier as an internship provider. So thank you so much for hosting, and we appreciate you, and we're so glad that you're part of our community.